Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? This is BC. Welcome back to another episode of Supreme Being. This is the podcast coming to you live from Miami Beach, Florida. I just moved to Florida, if you didn't know, and you're just tuning in. First and foremost, this podcast is sponsored by Team BC, which is my nationwide now real estate team. If you need anything in regards to real estate, buying, selling, investing, you can contact me or my team at teambcsold.com. If you're interested in joining my real estate team, go to jointeambc.com. And if you want to find out more about partnering with me at eXp Realty, go to partnerwithteambc.com. Check out that video and schedule a call with us if that's something that would be of interest to you. And last but not least, another sponsor for the podcast is Modern Success. That's my coaching program, my mentorship program. I don't care who you are or where you're from. If you like my podcast, my YouTube content, all the free stuff that I put out there, many concepts and things are covered much deeper there, and things that I will never release to the public for free. I recommend you join Modern Success. You can go to briancasella.com, or if you follow me on Instagram, you can go to the Linktree link and find it there. All right, let's begin. Now, a lot of talk lately has come up in regards to identity, being confined, and people playing the role that they think they're supposed to play in life. And I want to discuss it for 20, 30 minutes here on the podcast, because this is a topic that's been very dear to me and I feel like has caged me and many people up like an animal for a very long time. What do I mean by identity and being confined to it and things of that nature? Well, in essence, we think, live, exist, breathe, speak, talk, walk. We do everything from the perspective of being in a box, right? When we're born as children, growing up, there are no limits. There's no limits. We're a kid, you give us a toy, we think we're on the moon, driving a fire truck, watching the earth, and we vividly picture it and imagine it, and we're experiencing it as kids. Now, as we grow up, that spirit gets taken away from us, and we have to, in quotes, get with the real world and deal with reality and all this other nonsense that they put into our mind. Now, in that process of growing up, in quotes, we get imposed a lot of limitations of what we're supposed to do, what we're not supposed to do. And the majority of it is handed down to us. And because we're young and impressionable, we accept it because supposedly it's coming from authority figures that know more than us. And we adopt it, right? Then it gets stashed away into our subconscious mind, never to be thought of again. Then as adults, we are faced with making money, being out in the quotes real world. And then we wonder why, because the rules that you play by now are different, why we're having so much trouble. We're attempting now to live, be, do outside of that box, yet we're still confined to in the box thinking in existence. And this is where the issue comes up. All right. And that's what I want to discuss today, because the first thing is becoming aware of it, and then going through and deducing in your own mind, in your own process, what's really going on here. Think about all the things that you've been floating around with and just living with that you never questioned. Think about that for a second. How much is just sitting there that has never been tapped into or questioned or analyzed, right? Forget questioning, just analyze it. Have you taken the time to analyze how you think about certain things? Let's talk about entrepreneurship. What are your viewpoints on entrepreneurship? What do you actually know? Have you experienced anything yet? Or has it all been hand-me-downs or videos that you've watched? How about on health? You may think you need 100 grams of protein a day. Why? Who told you that? Was it just an influencer? Have you done your own research? How about making money and the rules of money? How many people walk around saying, oh, if you can't buy a car in cash, you shouldn't buy it? Says who? Is that the correct information? Or is that just one viewpoint that we will parade around with, talking down to people if they don't think that way? Now, I just gave you a few examples right now. They may seem irrelevant to you. Maybe one of them you actually think. Cool. No matter where you fall at the end of the spectrum, you have to take a look at these things and say, all right, where am I at with this? Why do I believe this? Have I investigated this independently and come to my own conclusion? Or did somebody hand this to me? Moving forward, think about your career path right now. Let's say you're listening to me. Odds are you're some sort of entrepreneur or business person, right? Maybe you're in real estate. How much of your character, meaning you, in that category that your career is in, right? For the sake of the example, let's use real estate. Let's say you're an agent. How much about you is, in quotes, what you're supposed to do? Think about that for a second. Because what composes the character? All the traits. How you walk, how you talk, how you run your business. Is every single thing defined by what somebody else told you? Or is there some individuality and uniqueness in your own process thrown in there? And let's pause here for a second. Look at me. Now, I'm a part of and composed of many parts, but let's look at the real estate side of me. I am not playing by the book. There's a lot of traditional things that I do. Absolutely. Go door to door, make calls. However, when I started, that stuff was shunned and claimed to be old school. And no one does that anymore. And it doesn't work. How about the way I presented myself? How about the way that I speak? How about how I dress? How about how I go about speaking about the business? How about my bold stances and statements? How about me employing social media early on when everybody laughed at me? How about me introducing into the real estate world different concepts that challenge the status quo? Everything about me that composes me in and outside of this particular realm. But again, for the sake of this example, in real estate, everything clashes. Virtually everything. Some traditional things I did, absolutely. I didn't completely throw all that stuff out. As I said, I went door to door and made calls. Very traditional, old school stuff. But the rest, there's something there. I refused to be caged in and boxed in. Now, that process took some time. It didn't happen overnight. I slowly started chipping away at it. And I would look at myself in the mirror every day and say, man, I'm playing by somebody else's rules. Why? Why am I so scared to do things my way? Why am I so scared to question things? Why am I so hesitant to, do what, innately inside feels like what I must be doing? But then there's some other authority, invisible authority in my mind saying, no, you can't do that. What voice is that? Who is that? I never analyzed that, because that's what I'm talking about today. You have two things here and they're in conflict. You versus the stranger, which is that authority or voice that's in your head. Now it's up to you to find out where that came from, who put it in, and who it is. That way you can start getting it out, because one of them is right and it's you. The other one is an imposter who has unknowingly been seeped into your head like a poison. And it's slowly been eating away at your existence, making you live this fake life and be a fake character that you think you're supposed to be all the time for some phantom reason. And that's what causes your discomfort. That's what causes your dissatisfaction. That's what causes your lack of happiness, being moody, being emotional, even being physically sick at times. Because everything about you knows innately that you're not doing it the way that you would like to do it. You're under this unwritten code, right? And we've seen this at all levels of society. It's obvious. Everybody knows, but nobody wants to talk about it. Why not? Why not? What happened? Why can't we call the enemy what it is? Why can't we just see things as they are and call them out? Has that become a sin now? So let me do it for you and point it out. Because as you're listening to this podcast and you continue, very quickly you're realizing what needs to be done and where you're at. Some of you may be very early on in this, to where this concept is a little bit foreign to you. Some of you may be resonating with every single word that I'm saying, and you're like, fuck, dang, I need to get on it. Some of you may be lost. Some of you may be like, okay, I'm already on this path. This reinforces my thoughts. This put into words what I was actually kind of going through internally. Fantastic. I don't care where you're at, as long as the next step is taken wherever you're at, because we have to start. You see, you wouldn't be listening to me had I not done this. This podcast wouldn't exist. None of this would exist in this current reality had I not gone through this process. And take a look, compare me to some other people in and outside of the space, and look at the ailments and issues that a lot of people deal with. I have no hesitation to my movements and decisions and what I do. Not at all. Not at all. I don't have any addictions. I don't have any issues, big underlying mental issues. I don't have any issues with communication or self-esteem. I'm very certain about my beliefs and philosophies, and I voice every single one of them, as you've seen over the years. to the point where I get censored, but that's okay because I'm willing to stand with the truth and what's correct and what's right. Now compare that to all these sellouts that we see and all these people selling out for money and biting their tongue and this and that. I don't give a shit about any of that because I don't play by their rules. I understand their rules. I don't play by them though. Because I am an individual. I'm not part of some fucking group. The groups that I'm a part of, the tribes, is by choice. And we all are individuals within that group. And our voices are not silenced and we're not reduced to just the name of the group or the tribe. That tribe is composed of all of these powerful, strong individuals who make the group. And we never forget that. And that's first and senior to everything else. And I will stand by that. Again, we're not playing by the rules. We're doing it our way. If we're a part of a group, that group is privileged to have a member like us, of course. And it goes both ways. Now listen to what I just said for the last couple minutes. What's your attitude like about yourself and what you bring to the table? Again, let's go back to you being a business person or a real estate person. Is that the type of energy that you have to you? Can I pull you out? Number one, can I even spot you in that pool or sea of people? You look at the real estate world, you can easily spot me. I'm like the black sheep. Sure. Can I spot you? Or are you going to blend in with everybody else? Some taller, some shorter, some chubbier, some skinnier. One has a different tie on. One walks a little bit faster. Is that you? That one that barely stands out? Or do you really stand out? Because many of you will say, well, how do I stand out? How do I be different? Well, hopefully you've been listening for the last 10 to 15 minutes because you're getting the answer right here. It's all within you, by the way. These words and these episodes just help you locate it, become aware of it, spot it, and start to do something about it. Because the answer is going to come from you, not me. I can't tell you how to be you. Then I'd be a billionaire because I'd be able to literally read people's thoughts and do telepathy. I can't tell you how to be you. I can help you maybe discover yourself and give you some better questions and insights for you to, dig within you to find the answers. But this is the work that you got to do, you with you. How would you do this? If there was no rules, if there wasn't somebody or some, rule book or playbook we're supposed to conform to or abide by, how would you do this? If there was a blank canvas, how would you go about doing this? That's your answer. Act as if that were the case. Then, as you're doing that and you see the rules of the game, you play both. I know the rules of the game, and I'm sure you're pretty aware of them too. Understand it, but don't be a slave to it. Don't be confined by it. It's those who can pull that kind of Neo thing and break the code within the code that start to have the success. Now, you don't need superpowers like Neo. You don't need to be called the one because we're all technically the one. You are one individual. That's the whole point of that movie. Anybody has the potential for that. You don't have to be chosen by Morpheus. And that's what I always stood by and believed in. And that's why I'm moving as if I'm Neo. But all of you can do it too. I'm not special. I'm just willing to look and go where other people are not. And the crazy part is all of you have that key in your hand and all of you see the door. You just refuse to grab the key and put it in the door, in the lock, and open it and walk through. But you know it's there. I know you do. There's just some fear and hesitancy because of all this buildup we've had over the years since childhood. And we have to start chopping away at that. But do not allow these identities to hold you, man. Just because you're a realtor doesn't mean you can't study spirituality or meditate or talk about chakras or go vegan and follow a holistic lifestyle, right? Or be a surfer if that's what you want to be, or be a musician. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Who made those rules? You see? You see how our thinking has become so limited and skewed for no reason, And many times it's because that one troll will come out and talk shit and we don't want to deal with it or we don't want to see it. Why not? By virtue of support, there's haters. If there was no haters, there'd be no support and vice versa. So you have to be ready for it. You have to be ready for it and accept it and want it. I want both sides of the same coin. I do. I'm asking for it on a daily basis because that's the dynamic of life. You cannot have one without the other. Look at the yin and yang symbol. perfect demonstration of that. The masculine within the feminine and the feminine within the masculine, and both of them being in harmony. There you go. Doesn't get any better than that. The divine feminine and the divine masculine. Boom. There we go. Those energies are not tainted by what I'm talking about here, because the human existence and the system and everything that we've been going through has deprogrammed the natural state that we're in and caused this to happen, and these ridges and these issues and these blocks. So it's not a matter of adding to the cup, it's removing from the cup. This is what it's about. Drop it. All this other stuff, systematically, piece by piece, start dropping it. Identity, the fact that you have to conform and be in a box of this identity, drop that. Drop that shit, right? Start being a little bit more malleable with how you think and view certain things and topics. Why do you think the majority of people, when they think of something, even if it's like a potential, something in the future, it's automatically negative and not positive? Why? Why do we default to that? We don't do that by nature. We grew up hearing that or being told to do that. And you heard it over and over. It got drilled into you. And now that's what you do. Or you see it all around you. Look at the average conversation nowadays. Gossip, drama, negativity. Very few people are having, impactful and empowering conversations, unless those people are in your circle and you chose that. Then good for you. You did a great job. But let's step this thing up. Stop being confined by the box. And I invite you now, moving forward after this episode, to really move forward and challenge. The next time you're dealing with a situation, or you're looking at maybe plans that you're making or goals, find the edge or limit of that box and make it bigger. And keep pushing that envelope over and over and over. Present new questions, new angles, new perspectives. Force yourself to do it, because obviously we're slaves to comfort. We're addicted to comfort. Push yourself out of that. Even the way we think, we get comfortable. Start pushing it. You think you're a free thinker and a big thinker? Push it even bigger. Let's go. That's my challenge to you after this episode, is now redefine what identity is. Redefine what we're supposed to do. How? By doing it your way and winning, whatever that means for you. And for me, I'm demonstrating it every single day. So fuck their rules. I don't have to follow them. And when you win, everybody shuts the fuck up and they'll leave you alone. And until you win, good. Use it as fuel to your fire, like I did, and send them all packing when you start to win. Now, winning can mean different things for everybody. Maybe making the money, right? Getting a certain level of recognition in your career, whatever that is for you, that's fine. Go after it and get it. And do not stop until you've achieved it. But this will give you more freedom. This will make you more relaxed. This will expand your perspective and your possibilities. And you'll stop dealing with all the bullshit that other people deal with. You'll be at a different plane of existence. And with that comes a different set of tools, different set of responses, and a different set of results. That's for sure. Okay. So that's it for this one, guys. We'll keep it short and sweet. Thank you for attending this Supreme Being episode. We do 2, if not 3 episodes a week. Shout out to Modern Success. Shout out to my team. If there's anything you need from me, reach out to me and we'll chat. All right. Peace. See you on the next episode.